Hey guys, it's Jake from Wani. We have a very special guest with us today. There are very few bands that are able to create a song powerful enough to capture a #1 position in the charts, and there are fewer still that can capture that position in 25 countries at the same time. Europe is one such band that was able to achieve this remarkable feat with their song The Final Countdown in 1985, and it is this track that has gone on to become not only a calling card for the band, but one of the most easily recognisable songs of recent memory. Ahead of their very first Australian tour later this year, we are lucky enough to have a very special guest with us this evening. We have Europe singer Joey Tempest. Joey, man, how you going?
Hey, thanks for having me. Nice introduction there, mate.
No worry at all. So I guess I want to start off with perhaps the most obvious question, but it's been over 35 years since Europe was founded, and I know there's a bit of a hiatus in there, but you're finally making your way down to Australia for the very first time. Why on earth has it taken so long?
That's a good question. We were playing a couple of shows in South America the other day, and we were talking about it in the band and the crew, and we can't seem to remember exact details, but the management, it was a management decision to tour elsewhere at the time. There was something booked, there was something planned for Australia, and we were really disappointed back then as well. But since then, we've been trying to get back, and we've been working with different managements. But the latest management, Adam and Ace, have realized that we want to do this tour in Australia, and they've been working towards it for a few years now, and we are making it happen. And we can't, both band and crew in the band Europe are so excited to get there and to meet our friends and fans in Australia, play some old and new tracks, and just have a big old good time, you know?
Yeah, wonderful. And I guess that sort of ties in a little bit to my next question, and it's like going on and saying surely that there have been offers from promoters prior to this, but was it just a case of not being the right time, which you've sort of answered? Was there ever any sort of hesitation that you weren't sure how this sort of a tour would run in Australia?
No, it was no hesitation. It's something that we always want to do, but it needs to be a collaboration between releases of albums, between the management, the agents, and the offers, like you mentioned earlier. If the offers are feasible for us to bring a good show over, you know, we want to do a good job when we come over and show our best. You should always do that. People pay expensive tickets. You need to put on a good show, and now everything has come together. Like I said, with our new management, they have been pushing, and they've been listening to us in the band, and we need to try to do an Australian tour, and it's happening, and we are so excited about this now, and even the crew were like, yeah, let's do this thing. So we're on our way.
Yeah, good. That's good to hear. It's good to hear that everyone's excited to be on board. I guess, was there a point in time where it seemed like touring in Australia might never have happened? I mean, you've mentioned that there was a few things that were going on, but it's been almost 40 years since the band was founded, and yet again I know that there was a bit of a hiatus in the middle of there for about 12 years, but had that thought ever crossed your minds that you might never actually make it down here?
That's an interesting question, because we talked about it so many times, but we've always said one day we're going there, one day we're going there in the band. We've always been positive about it, and now it's happening. So no, we haven't never shelved the idea, never. It's always been there. No, we're going to do it one day. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We also have fans, obviously, and we worked with a staff member now lives in Australia and lived there early on in his life, Dimmy, and we've also been in contact, and we talked to him a lot about we have to make it there, and so we've been in contact with fans and people that have worked with us that have lived in Australia. So it's always been in our minds, always.
Yeah, cool. So you guys are coming down armed with 11 albums worth of material now. Have you decided how you're going to structure your set list to cater for not only 35 years worth of music, but also to provide the Australian fans with a truly memorable experience?
Absolutely. We've been working on sort of sketches and set list already. We've been talking about it already. It's special. It's the highlight of the year for us, and we're going to have to. We want to go back, and we're going to have a great selection of older and newer songs. Maybe features, maybe guitar feature, keyboard feature. We're working on different angles, but we want to make an interesting, dynamic show, but also explosive with the big songs and interact with the audience and really get together with a place that we haven't been. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of work, a bit of rehearsal, but it's worth it because this is we want to put on a good show.
Yeah, and very nice, very good to hear. And that sort of crosses off the next question that I had, which is good. Now, is there anything that Europe as a band wants to achieve while you're here in Australia? Is there things down here that you're sort of curious about, or you might have seen other bands do that you want to experience yourself while you're here?
I think the best thing is to just what we usually do when we go places that we've never been. We on the way there we talk about in the band and crew what they're going to do, what ideas everybody has, and depending on the schedule, we get the tour manager on board to sort of arrange some outings maybe, and go out at night maybe, and feel the vibe and what's fun to do right now. And so yeah, we're just going to play it by ear, but we definitely want to feel it and want to live it as well. It's going to be a tight schedule. We're doing the shows are quite packed, but I think there'll still be time to do some fun things, and we're really in a private way, and that's going to be amazing too.
Yeah, cool. So your latest album, Walk the Earth, was released in October last year. It was met with largely favourable reviews, and it sort of builds a bit on the momentum that 2015's War of Kings created. This album marked the second occasion that Europe as a band worked with producer David Cobb. So how important was Dave's input this second round during the recording process for the album?
Well, we learned first time around working with him that we could trust him and how talented he was. So by experience War of Kings with Dave, we realized we wanted to work with him again. So we asked him, would you like to work with us again? And he said, yes. Where are we recording? And I said, there's an opening in the UK. I've been trying to get the band to the UK since Out of This World in '88. There's an opening at Abbey Road, and everybody sort of listened up. So, oh, all right. Well, yes, we will come to you this time, Joey. So, yeah, we recorded in Abbey Road, our 11th album. We've done 6 albums since we started again. We've been on an amazing journey, adventure, learning about recording techniques, working with trying to work with the best producers, engineers, studios. There's so much to learn as a band. You know, it's not just improving, which is the most important thing, improving your playing and writing and lyrics, but also to preserve and to record rock and roll the best way possible. It was at its peak at the end of the 70s, and to bring that forward and to do it together with new techniques, that's also a journey that we're on, and we're kind of nerdy with all that stuff. So Abbey Road was amazing. I mean, they have preamps that John Lennon preferred. They had compressors that he preferred. They have desks that Beatles recorded a lot of their albums through. They have desks that Pink Floyd recorded albums through. And we were in number 3. We were in Pink Floyd studios. That's where they had their home. I mean, Beatles were in 2 and Pink Floyd were in 3 most of the time. So we got into number 3 in 2 weeks, and we made Walk the Earth. And it's sort of a miracle album. We pushed everything we could. Everybody contribute with the writing, including Dave Cobb. So it was truly helped the result of that album.
Yeah, and you've touched on a few things that we're going to get to shortly as well in terms of the recording techniques and that, but I understand that for this album that you were trying to conduct some research about how modern democracy came to be, and I guess that sort of stemmed into a little bit of the lyrical themes that are present on the album. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, there was... Obviously, in the world the last few years, there's been some interesting things happening socially, politically. So, yeah, it did sort of trigger a little bit of my lyric. When we started writing the song... okay, sorry about this.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was very important for me to have an angle lyrically, and... it's great to have a place to start. So yeah, I was wondering a lot about democracy because it was pulling different directions, and some of the lyrics really reflected that, like Election Day, but also The Siege, who was a little bit of a postcard from the French Revolution. Kingdom United, where the Magna Carta was signed way back, and sort of started democracy in the UK. Yeah, so lyrically, it was great to find an angle to work. that was really a good start for me. But then again, some of the lyrics and songs are just based on rock and roll and in the moment, where everything just happens in the moment.
Yeah.
So it became a great collection in the end, with some working in the democracy theme and some just being rock and roll lyrics.
Yeah, and I do want to ask this one because I feel that it's important, but Europe as a band is somewhat of an enigma, I guess. Having resounding success in the 80s, then you took your hiatus in the early 90s, you reformed in the 2000s, and you're now again achieving a respectable level of success. I mean, I was at Varken in 2015, I believe it was, when you guys were playing, and the reception that was there for you guys was massive. So given the massive changes in the musical landscape during the time from the early successes to now, did you ever feel that there might not be a place in the current landscape for a reformed Europe when you decided to get back together?
Yeah, it's a good question, but when we, after I did my solo albums, I felt I was missing the guys again, missing the chemistry of these people I met when I was a teenager. So starting in 2004, we didn't really have a choice. It was more like a natural progression for us to just meet up again and start again. John Norum had lived in LA for a long time then. He started detuning and B-tuning his guitar. I was coming out of a research period when it comes to looking at lyrics and writing. I was listening to everything, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Jackson Browne, Van Morrison. I came from that angle and brought maybe another dimension lyrically, and the other guys had toured with artists like Glenn Hughes and everything. So we started up again, and there was never any question of looking at the what anybody else thought we should do. I think that the true, if it's a secret or not, I don't know, but anyway, all the decisions Europe has made without outside influence. So all the decisions are in dressing room, in the rehearsal, and we have chosen the labels to work with. We own our music. We have chosen the studios. We choose the producers. We move forward like an entity, like a band. And I think we've never even looked at the landscape thinking, oh no, this is not going to work. We have to do this. We haven't even tailored anything. So everything is organic. We go into a new studio with a new set of thinking like, this is just going to be a new journey. Let's push the boundaries and go for it. And no, so maybe that's the secret why it has. But we're still here. We won a Grammy the other week in Sweden. We're at the best reviews ever. We didn't expect that, but Walk the Earth is kind of a miracle album that way. And the last few albums have really, I don't know how it's happened, but maybe it's just because we're just pushing and not listening to outside influence, just pushing our own thing and enjoying it and enjoying it with the fans too. They seem to join us, new ones, and they stay with us. There's some controversy sometimes because we try things, we push things a bit, but that makes, in the long run, that makes us all come together, I think.
Yeah, very, very true, very true. So I do have one final question, and it's more of a personal one for you. But have we seen the end of the Joey Tempest solo experience? I mean, musicians are very habitual, are always writing. I know yourself; you're a very avid music writer. Do you think that one day we might get another solo album?
Maybe, but the journey with Europe now is very exciting, and it's also my friends from teenage years. It's nice to be able to work with people you know and tour with people you know. When I did some solo tours, it was with other musicians, and it was great and inspiring, but there's something special about people you know. But it's not impossible. I mean, obviously there's songs and ideas lying around from years and years, and maybe it's possible to bring something up again or write something new and do a solo thing, but I don't know. It's nothing on the cards now, and nothing that I'm planning right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Joey, thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you with Europe when you guys come down here later this year.
All right, thank you so much for your support, and see you soon, I hope.